Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 2, where we are currently working on the economy in Sudan. We're building a bunch of railroads, as well as a bunch of factories, and we're just kind of chilling at peace, working on getting these economic bonuses rolling, so that our factories are more consistently in the black, rather than in the red. Which is good. I don't know why the days of insolvency is going up here on the days when it's profitable. I guess it isn't. Okay. Good to know. Well, our machine parts factory will be done in 45 days. We still need to expand our railroad in Wad Madani and Kassala. But that'll be okay. And that'll give us some nice infrastructure in the region. As we can see, our average infrastructure is increasing our factory throughput by 16% currently, and as these finish up, it'll be even more. There we go, we'll expand here. And we are importing the cement, steel, and timber. Well, technically a lot of the cement and steel is probably coming out of our factory, but the timber we definitely need to import. And that was our factory done. So let's hop over into here, and we'll put this on middle priority for hiring, just so the numbers go in here first. We currently have 6,000 employees here. Actually, let's just put everything on the same low priority for right now. And we'll just evenly spread it. There we go. So what are we importing here? Machine parts, cement, steel, and coal. Now that, we actually produce all of those, so that's excellent. Absolutely excellent, actually. I'm very happy about that. And then we just need a little bit of money to expand our railroad system in Kassala to get even more bonuses for this. But we're already basically profitable daily in all of our factories, even though our machine parts factory isn't very populated right now. But that's okay, we are encouraging craftsmen over here, and we need a lot of them. But this is our first little production chain here, and I feel like it's going pretty well, all things considered. Let's go ahead and get this railroad expanded in Kassala as soon as we get another 400-ish pounds. That would be nice, to be sure. Oh, what's all this going on over here? Oh, all the things we built. Repay debt CBs? Yeah, that's not interesting to me. I mean, if they owed me money, maybe, but they don't, so there's that. Okay, we'll expand that railroad. Fantastic. We're now spending all of our incoming money on putting resources into that. But that'll be done very shortly. Okay. Slim picketings. Suffragettes picketing a local bar in one of our provinces are becoming the laughingstock of the entire state. The sight of the two relatively frail upper-class women standing with placards outside the bar picketing for women's suffrage and temperance is not only being made into an object of ridicule, it's also causing some anger among the lower classes, who feel that the well-offs, the high-and-mighties, and the holier-than-thous are trying to patronize, or matronize, as the case may be, them with sophistry and rhetoric. Oh my. I mean, maybe if they listen to more to what these nice ladies are trying to explain to them. Let's check our reforms quick. So, they already have the right to vote. It's just that it's weighted based on their wealth. So, we already have universal suffrage. So I'm gonna go ahead and be like, yeah, you can go ahead and vote. That's a thing. I don't understand what you're protesting about. I legit don't understand. Okay, so we are currently still at a 16% boost from our infrastructure here, and the question is, do we want to expand to additional factories? We might be able to. Like, for example, we could build an artillery and an explosive factory here, utilize our existing steel and cement and machine parts factory. Oh, hello. Factory efficiency. I like it. So let's go ahead and get ourselves another research, and this is going to be tax efficiency. There we go. So far, so good. And let's see, we have 5 out of 8 of factories in this state. We could potentially do an artillery explosives factory here. We're going to fight the disease. It's going to be a little expensive, but it'll be fine. Maybe like canned food? What does that require? Inputs of fish. Do we make fish? Precious metal. I don't think we make any fish. That's a little awkward. Does it work with just cows, or do we have to have cows and fish for canned food? Iron and cattle are necessary to produce canned food, but I think fish can also work, and grain? Maybe? I do want to build one of these, so I think that's our plan then. A canned food factory, an ammunition or not an ammunition, an explosive factory, which is here. That requires an ammunition input, okay. And that actually requires fertilizer. Interesting. Well, maybe we should focus this entirely on infantry then. So like small arms, ammunition, steel, cement, machine parts, canned food, and then something else. I mean, I suppose we could make a fertilizer factory. It'd be a possibility. What would we go for? I don't know. I'll have to think about that, to be sure. I do like the idea of getting a canned food factory here. I think that's going to be pretty important for us. We are building additional railroads. And then the question is, where do we put our next factories? And I think the answer is East Houseland. And then the question is, do we make that an artillery foundry? Or do we make our artillery foundry be like down here? And then over here we produce civilian goods. That might be a good idea, realistically. Yeah, I think that's probably the best idea, is to do it that way. But regardless, this is going reasonably well. To the point where, I don't know, maybe we should consider bumping up our education and administration? Administration gives us what? Crime fighting effect. Social reforms and tariffs. Okay. We can't do anything on social spending, obviously. I don't know. I think I'm kind of comfortable where I am right now. We've got our taxes at 50%. Our people are mostly getting their basic needs met. Some of the poor and middle class aren't, but that's kind of to be expected. So I think all things considered, what we do is we build a canned food factory next in Sudan. Now the machine parts factory is not producing very much, but that's because it only has 728 employees. The new employees are getting spread amongst all the factories. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to middle priority so that they all come into the machine parts factory for right now, because we definitely need more people in here. We've got a lot in our ammunition factory, so that's a thing. And it bears noting that we're going to have an election ending soon, right? Oh, the election did end. The royal faction remained the ruling party. That's nice. Okay. I'll take it. Tax efficiency increase. Oh, wow. That just doubled our income. Nice. Factory output efficiency tech. Nice. Prophylaxis against malaria. Nice. I like it. Well, I think we're going to go for culture next, because we're kind of becoming pacifist here. So, romanticism for more prestige? That sounds good to me. Let's do it. Should be arriving when? 24 October. Oof. These techs are taking a little longer than I would like, but I guess it'll have to be, since we're currently focused on building factories. We need to continue to attract craftsmen over here, so that's a thing. Upper house has been assembled. That's an interesting distribution that we've got, because that means that we can do reforms. The common school movement really needs to become a thing. Let's see. Nobody would actually be upset if we did this. There we go. We now have an acceptable school system. Fantastic. Now, old age security, they want trinket pensions, and maximum work hours, they want a 14-hour work day. That's fair enough, and we'll do that as soon as we can. Okay. So, with that being the case, we have now made additional progress down the farm tree. I'm happy about that. The next project, of course, is to build the canned food factory. And then the question is, what do we do with the remaining slots here? Because we're going to be at 6 of 8, and we can have 2 more factories here. Also, 21.3%. Huh? Huh? I like it. We are losing a lot of money on the machine parts factory currently, because it is importing a large amount of steel. Fair enough. We might want to build a second steel factory, actually. But the thing about that is we can just expand factories infinitely. So I feel like building a second steel factory isn't very efficient. Realistically. I don't know. I feel like the best way to do this would definitely be to build the canned food factory, which we're going to do. There we go. We should be acquiring resources for it. Specifically, we are attempting to acquire iron. But there's a current iron shortage. Permanent prestige, +1. Sweet, I'll take it. I'm very okay with that. I don't suppose we can expand these railroads a third time. No, we can't. At least not yet. We could if we researched the Iron Railroad. And I may want to do that. Alternately, cheap iron would be nice. Although we don't actually... Well, we do have precious metals. But we don't produce iron of our own, which is a kind of big problem, actually. I would love to produce iron. And it looks like not a whole lot changed here. Okay, the canned food factory is under construction, and the question is, what else do infantry need? Let's check here. Let's see. It doesn't say what their supplies are. Ammunition, small arms, artillery, canned food, and wool. Okay. Education for women, huh? If you, sir, is upset by the fact that student number 156 wears a bonnet, I would be pleased to remove my conspicuous headgear and take a seat at the rear of the classroom, but I will not voluntarily absent myself from a lecture. Woman causes scandal at an Ethiopian university by being there. A woman has enrolled at one of our institutions of higher learning, and the event has caused a fair amount of scandal among local conservatives. So, we could gain 3 consciousness amongst liberals in Ethiopian North Cameroon, which, North Cameroon is over here, isn't it? Let's see, yeah, that's right here. Liberals are 23%. Alternately, conservatives there would gain 3 militancy. That's 31%. I'm going to go ahead and go with this. So our erudites are intimidated by the female intellect? They can be a little salty about that. Whatever. I kinda don't care. Having more educated people would just be good for the economy, so I'm fine with this. Okay, so we have 6 out of 8 factories here. And we know that we don't need anything else. So maybe we should have some civilian things here. Like, for example, a liquor distillery. That requires glass and wheat. We have wheat. Or maybe we should just leave this at 6 of 8 and say that this is our military production for right now. Because realistically, as far as cannon go, I don't think cannon should be in this section. Yeah, I really don't. I think that cannon would be like down here we would produce cannon, and it would be, say, an artillery factory, an explosives factory, a fertilizer factory, because explosives require fertilizer as an input. Constitutional contentment. The people in our populous states are very satisfied with the high representation afforded to them by our Constitution. One of the states is particularly happy as their candidates have, during the past year, managed to secure several local privileges for their state. In the grand scheme of things, it's not any matter that merits national attention, but they are happy nevertheless. The question is, how should we capitalize on this sudden burst of public support? What should be the government's position? We could lose militancy, consciousness, or one of each. And I'm going with that. Excellent. Okay, how many craftsmen do we have in East Houseland right now? Not a whole lot. That's good to know. However, it's past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue renovating Ethiopia. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.